An elderly Christian man was sitting on his porch one day as a worldly man came by driving a herd of pigs. The old man called out from the porch, "Where are you going with those hogs?" "Why, I'm going to the market to sell them," was the man's reply. "Then I'm going to use the money to purchase those things which I've always wanted." "You mean if the Lord be willing," said the elderly Christian man. "No, that's not what I mean at all," replied the man of the world. "I intend to do just what I said. And that's that." Sometime later, the Christian man was surprised to see the same man staggering back up the road, bruised, tattered, and missing his hogs. "What happened to you?" asked this elderly man with great concern in his voice. He said, "I was waylaid by robbers down the road. They stole my hogs and then beat me up." "Well, what do you intend to do now?" asked this elderly Christian. "I'm going back home, if the Lord be willing." James writes, "Now listen, you who say today or tomorrow, we will go to this or that city and spend a year there, carry on business and make money. Why? You do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes away. Instead, you ought to say, if it is the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that." James 4, verses 13 through 15. What a temptation it is, in this time of prosperity in which we live, to feel that we can make it without God's help. But friends, this is wrong. At every ticking of the clock, sickness, accidents, and death enter into homes across our land. In a matter of seconds, our lives can be changed forever. None of us knows what the future holds, but how important it is to know the one who holds the future. When we set our will against the will of God, friends, there will be defeat. And God is not going to lose. He will not be defeated. Even the Son of God, who knew no sin in his life, did the will of his Father in heaven. During those sad moments in Gethsemane, he prayed, "O Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt." Matthew 26 and verse 39. Jesus is saying here that regardless of the bitterness of this cup of death, he will drink it if it be the will of God. As the Apostle Paul traveled over the world preaching the gospel, he trusted God's will to guide him. There are times that he mentioned places where he wanted to go, but that God's will had led him otherwise. Therefore, his faith led him to depend upon God's will. And as we live our lives upon this earth, why not be faithful Christians, allowing God to guide our lives? In the Old Testament, it tells us that it is not in man who walketh to direct his own steps. Friends, if we want to make it to heaven, if we want to live this life in such a way that God is pleased with us, and we hear him say those beautiful words on the day of judgment, "Well done, good and faithful servant," then we must do the Father's will. We must allow him to be our guide in life, and using his word, this perfect law of liberty that has been set forth for us, we will find that direction. Using that guide, it will lead us to heaven. Friends, thank you for listening to our program today. And our prayer is that God blesses you today with a wonderful day.